Attention passionate Montreal, Canadiens fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the Atlantic Division and it could shake up the entire conference. We're talking about a direct impact on Montreal Canadiens' path to another Stanley Cup run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Montreal Canadiens fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Montreal, CANADINS FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. It's impossible to ignore the buzz in the NHL right now, especially when it comes to the Montreal Canadiens and the shifting tides within the league's power structure. The 2023-2024 season was a roller coaster for the Canadiens, with moments of brilliance mixed with some tough setbacks. But what's truly capturing everyone's attention now is what's happening across the Atlantic Division and how it might just influence Montreal's future plans and prospects for the Stanley Cup. The team is currently in a phase of rebuilding, but recent developments have everyone talking about whether the Canadiens can capitalize on this moment to accelerate their rise, or if they'll face new challenges ahead. Starting with the recent performances, Montreal has shown flashes of the talent and potential that made them a powerhouse in the past. Players like Cole Caulfield and Nick Suzuki have been pivotal, not just in terms of their offensive production, but also in leading the team's leadership core. Caulfield, with his incredible goal-scoring ability, is quickly becoming one of the league's most exciting young forwards, while Suzuki continues to be the engine that drives the Canadiens' attack, showing maturity and resilience that belie his years. But it's not just about individual talent. It's also about how the team is adapting to the new NHL landscape, where speed, skill, and smart playmaking are more important than ever. The offseason was a busy period for the Canadiens, with management making strategic moves to bolster the roster. They've brought in some promising young players and made subtle adjustments to the coaching staff, aiming to foster a more dynamic and versatile style of play. The goal for Montreal is clear: develop a team that can compete at the highest levels, especially in a division that's become increasingly competitive with the rise of teams like the Buffalo Sabres and the Detroit Red Wings, both of whom have been making significant strides in recent seasons. The Canadiens know that they need to be at their best if they want to push for a playoff spot and ultimately contend for the Stanley Cup. Looking at the current season, Montreal's approach has been cautious but optimistic. The team's style under head coach Martin St. Louis emphasizes speed, skill, and relentless forechecking, traits that suit the modern NHL game perfectly. The early games have shown promise, with the Canadiens demonstrating resilience and a willingness to compete against some of the league's toughest opponents. But as we all know, the NHL is a league where consistency is king, and small mistakes can cost you dearly, especially when facing playoff-caliber teams. One of the key stories to watch this season is the development of the team's younger core players. Caulfield is already establishing himself as a lethal scorer, but the real question is whether he can maintain that level of performance over the long haul. His ability to stay healthy and adapt to the increased defensive focus from opponents will be crucial. Meanwhile, Suzuki continues to grow into his role as captain, showing leadership both on and off the ice, and his chemistry with Caulfield could be the catalyst for Montreal's offensive surge. The team also has promising prospects like Juraj Slavkovsky, whose size and skill set could turn him into a key contributor as the season progresses. But it's not just about the offense. Montreal's defensive unit, led by players like David Savard and Joel Edmondson, has shown resilience and a growing understanding of the system. The addition of reliable defensemen and the improved play of the younger defenders are signs that Montreal is building a balanced team. The goaltending situation remains a point of focus, with Jake Allen providing solid leadership between the pipes, and the team's management is keen to see how the young prospects like Caden Primo develop as the season unfolds. Now, what about the division? The Atlantic has become a battleground, with teams like the Boston Bruins, Tampa Bay Lightning, and Florida Panthers all vying for supremacy. The Bruins, in particular, look formidable with their blend of veteran experience and young talent, and they're clearly aiming for another deep playoff run. The Lightning, always a threat with their championship pedigree, continue to be a tough nut to crack. Florida Panthers, meanwhile, have been trying to find consistency after their impressive playoff run last year. This hyper-competitive environment puts immense pressure on Montreal to not only stay competitive, but to also find ways to rise above and carve out their own spot in the postseason. The Canadiens' front office is aware of these dynamics and has been actively working behind the scenes. Their focus remains on developing a sustainable, competitive team that can challenge the division's giants. They're looking at ways to optimize their cap space, develop their prospects, and build a roster that can sustain success over multiple seasons. The recent injuries and roster adjustments have been part of this broader strategy, aiming to ensure that Montreal remains in the playoff conversation and maybe even beyond. But what's really fascinating is how the league's recent trends and the performances of other division rivals could influence Montreal's approach moving forward. For example, if teams like the Sabres or the Red Wings continue their upward trajectory, the Canadiens will need to be even more aggressive in their talent acquisition and game strategy. Conversely, if some teams stumble or face injuries, it could open opportunities for Montreal to climb the standings more quickly than expected. The franchise's management is carefully watching these developments, knowing that patience and timing are crucial in this rebuilding phase. And it's not just about the standings. Montreal fans are passionate, and they're eager to see their team return to the glory days. The atmosphere around the Bell Center is electric, filled with hope and anticipation for what's to come. The young core, combined with experienced leaders, gives fans a reason to believe that better days are ahead. The team's identity is evolving, and the coaching staff is trying to instill a sense of resilience and confidence that can carry them through the tough patches that inevitably come with a rebuilding process. Looking ahead, the schedule is challenging, but it also offers opportunities. The Canadiens will face tough opponents early on, including divisional rivals and some of the league's top teams. Each game is a test of their resilience, depth, and ability to execute under pressure. The results of these early matchups could set the tone for the rest of the season, whether Montreal can build momentum or faces setbacks that require adjustments. Moreover, the NHL trade deadline is always a significant moment, and the Canadiens are likely to be active participants if they see opportunities to strengthen their roster. They might look for veteran presence or additional scoring depth to complement their young stars. The management's focus remains on long-term growth, but they're also pragmatic enough to make moves that could push the team into playoff contention sooner rather than later. So, as we follow the Canadiens this season, it's clear that there's a lot at stake, not just in terms of wins and losses, but also in how the team develops and how they handle the pressure of a highly competitive division. The fans are eager, the players are motivated, and the management is strategic. It's a fascinating time to be a Canadiens supporter because this season could be a turning point, a moment where Montreal reasserts itself as a force to be reckoned with in the NHL. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Montreal Canadiens news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Montreal Canadiens fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Canadiens. Do you believe this team has what it takes to surprise everyone and make a deep playoff run? Or are you concerned about the hurdles they still need to overcome? Whatever your perspective, we're here to discuss, to debate, and to celebrate our beloved team. Remember, the season is still young, and the story of this Canadiens squad is far from written. Every game, every shift, every goal, each one adds to the bigger picture of what this team can become. As always, I'll be back soon with more updates, analysis, and insights into everything Canadiens related. The journey is just beginning, and the excitement is building. So stay tuned, keep the faith, and let's continue to support our team through thick and thin. Because being a Canadiens fan isn't just about the victories, it's about the passion, the history, and the hope that we carry into every season. Thanks for being part of this incredible community, and remember, go Habs go!